Welcome all y'all out there in Radio Land to the classroom of Professor Percy Pickem's Peerless Pigskin Predictions and Prognostications 101. Professor Percy Pickem, the freight train of pigskin pain and the master of point spread disaster. After much cogitation and coin flipping, the Ole Professor has carefully prepared his lesson plan, and he's here with his weekly lecture on gridiron glory and his prodigious Pickem Pigskin Report. This week, there's a lot of gridiron grit on the schedule, so sharpen your number 2 pencils, get in your seats, open your books, and get ready to take some notes. The Ole Professor's class is now in session.
This is Professor Percy Pickem, and welcome back to my Peerless Pigskin Predictions and Prognostications 101. 2014 has been a great year, filled with the usual ups and downs along with the unexpected, exceptional seasons of several good teams. Even though the regular season is finished, there's still a little matter of 39 bowl games left to be played, as well as a first ever championship playoff series to decide who gets that big, tall-looking football trophy. So let's get rolling to see who's bowling. In the Hyundai Sun Bowl, Arizona State versus Duke. There'll be pitchforks aplenty as the Blue Devils of Durham duke it out with the Sun Devils of the Desert out in the West Texas town of El Paso. Duke will put on a display of demonic dimensions, but the Cactus Critters will be the go-getters. Percy's pick, Arizona State. In the AutoZone Liberty Bowl, Texas A&M versus West Virginia. A command of College Station collegians corrals into Memphis town to mount a maneuver amongst a mob of Morgantown mountaineers. The Aggies will be mobile, agile, and hostile, but the coonskin hatters will have what matters. Percy's pick, West Virginia. In the Advocare Texas Bowl, Arkansas versus Texas. Here's a football fairy tale. Once upon a time in centuries past, there was a sensational seasonal Southwest Conference eyeball-to-eyeball between Darrell Royal and Frank Broyles, usually with national championship implications. Well, this game ain't none of that, but it will make ancient hogs happy as a dead pig in the sunshine. Percy's pick, Woo Pig Suey, Arkansas. In the Tax Slayer Bowl, Iowa versus Tennessee. The Iowa band packs up their 76 trombones to march with a huge horde of harassing Big Ten Hawkeyes for a hold-down hootenanny with a knot of Knox Vegas volunteers. But there'll be trouble in River City, as the Rocky Toppers will be too gritty. Percy's pick, Tennessee. In the Franklin American Mortgage Music City Bowl, Notre Dame versus LSU. It's going to be high mass in Music City as the South Bend Choir Boys try to best a cold-blooded Bio Bengal. The Lucky Leprechauns will be plenty musical, but won't be able to diddle with a country Cajun fiddle. Percy's pick, Hold That Tiger, LSU. In the Belk Bowl, Georgia versus Louisville. A flock of bright red ACC Cardinals fearlessly flutter into Charlotte, hoping to steal a big old bone from an SEC beefed-up burly bulldog. The fast-flying birdies will be elusive, but the big dog's bark will hit the mark. Percy's pick, Georgia on my mind. In the Vizio Fiesta Bowl, Boise State versus Arizona. A stubborn bunch of 20th-ranked high-bucking Broncos attempt to tame a cantankerous crew of 10th-ranked Cactus Wildcats, but will run out of luck before the last saddle-busting buck. Percy's pick, Arizona. In the Valero Alamo Bowl in San Antonio, Kansas State versus UCLA. The 14th-ranked Pac-12 Bruins leave out of luscious La-La Land, fit and feisty for a fur-flying fiasco with the 11th-ranked Kitty Cats of K-State, but will find the feline nation way too tenacious. Percy's pick, in a close one, Kansas State. In the Outback Bowl, Auburn versus Wisconsin. There's going to be a smackdown in Tampa Town as the Big Ten Badgers try to take down an SEC gathering of no-huddle War Eagles. But the Tigers of Toomer's Corner will be too tough to rough up. Percy's pick, offense wins, Auburn. Well, let's take a little timeout here, but it's going to be a short one. Nothing like those infernal TV timeouts that seem to last forever. I tell you, those things take so long, I think I cooked supper one time during one of those timeouts. We'll be right back. Whether you are tuned in on Professor Percy Pickem's radio network, our Facebook page, or here on our weekly YouTube TV broadcast, we hope you enjoy the Ole Professor's Peerless program and want you to know how much we've appreciated your kind support this season. So stock up on a big supply of delicious munchies and a fridge full of refreshing beverages and have a great time pulling for your favorite bowl playing team. Now back to the show. This is Professor Percy Pickem. This year, my peerless pigskin predictions and prognostications have been broadcast by the best radio stations in the land. Great stations like our good friends at WTBF AM 970 in Troy, Alabama, proudly serving South Central Alabama, and 1310 AM KEZM in Lake Charles, Louisiana, sports radio for Southwest Louisiana. Thanks, fellas. Now back to my peerless prognostications. In the Buffalo Wild Wings Citrus Bowl, Minnesota versus Missouri. The Big Ten team from the Twin Cities tumbles into temperate Orlando to tussle with the SEC striped kitty cats of the Show Me State. But the Tigers will be the ruler, locking the Golden Gophers in the Wild Wing Cooler. Percy's pick, Old Mizzou. In the Goodyear Cotton Bowl, Michigan State versus Baylor. It's going to be a bombastic barrage of Big Ten, Big 12, big-time headbutting as the stout-hearted Spartans wade into a spinning brigade of tailor-made Baylor blades. The M-Staters will muscle up against the blessed bunch of able-bodied Baptists, but will discover that picking cotton in Dallas ain't that easy. Percy's pick, the Baylor Bears. In the Capital One Orange Bowl, Mississippi State versus Georgia Tech. Mucho mayhem in Miami as a nest of ACC Yellow Jackets bombard a dog pound packed with a boodle of bad-tempered bulldogs. The high-tech hot Atlanta insects will do the dinging, but the country cowbell ringers will do the donging. Percy's pick, Mississippi State. In the Chick-fil-A Peach Bowl, Ole Miss versus TCU. A congregation of Cowtown Christians bring their Big 12 traveling salvation show, hoping to hail offensive fire and brimstone on a devilish band of dauntless Dixieland defenders. But the righteous Rebs will be putting a stopping on the Horned Frogs hopping. Percy's pick in a peachy upset, Ole Miss. In the Rose Bowl, Oregon versus Florida State. A semifinal showdown not for the squeamish, as the unconquered braves of the Everglades send a whooping war party against a fierce flock of feathered fowls. But their shot at a repeat will wind up like so much swamp water off a duck's back. Percy's pick, the quack attack avoids a tomahawk whack, Oregon. In the All-State Sugar Bowl, Alabama versus Ohio State. Bound to be a Buckeye hubbub on Baldy Bourbon Street as a combative crew from Columbus cruise into the Big Easy, hoping to steal the sweetness out of Nick Saban's Sugar Bowl. The behemoths of the Big Ten will be shifty, but the Twinkle-Toed Tide will be way too nifty. Percy's pick, Laissez le bon temps rouler, let the good times roll tide, Alabama. You know, bowls are mighty important, and the bowls most vital to the Old Professor during the 3 weeks of football watching are those bowls that are filled up with chili, cereal, popcorn, or potato chips. We also have a complete set of salad bowls here at the house, except all of them got Cool Whip written on the side. And with that, we'll take a very short break.
Southern artist Larry Womble has a collection of art prints from your favorite college towns. Visit LarryWomble.com to view the array of prints and place an order for yourself or as a special gift. LarryWomble.com.
You know, there's more bowl games now than you can shake a stick at. So let's proceed with a pigskin pageantry of the Old Professor's quick picks and phenomenal prognostications. We're going to go fast, so listen up. Louisiana Lafayette nips Nevada. UTEP upsets Utah State. Utah over Colorado State. Western Michigan over Air Force. South Alabama beats Bowling Green. Memphis sneaks by BYU. Marshall manhandles Northern Illinois. San Diego State sinks Navy. Fresno State rips Rice. Louisiana Tech wins over Illinois. North Carolina rumbles by Rutgers. UCF knocks out NC State. Cincinnati whomps Virginia Tech. Miami shoots down South Carolina. Boston College pops Penn State. USC undoes Nebraska. Clemson kapows Oklahoma. Pittsburgh punishes Houston. Washington rings out Oklahoma State. Florida eases by East Carolina. And Stanford makes turtle soup out of the Maryland Terrapins. Well, it's been another exciting season, and a season that has gone by way too fast. We thank you for listening and hope you had a chuckle or two with the Ole Professor. We're also grateful for our generous sponsors and most thankful for our dear station friends on the Professor's Radio Network. Many thanks to our production staff, expertly led by the multi-talented John Rawl, and for the everlasting love and support of my dear Mrs. Pickem. It's been a blast. See y'all all next year for another exciting college football season. And as my dear bowl-watching, holiday-loving friend Larry Womble always says, we may not win every game, but we ain't never lost a party.
Professor Percy Pickem is a production of CRM Sports. For more, log on to y'all.com or share the podcast in the iTunes Store.